Hey everyone, how are you doing today? I'm excited to be with you today to share with you some designs I put together for my spring snap frames for my house. So I thought I'd start out by giving kind of an introduction of how the snap frames go together, just in case you haven't had a chance to use them before. They're really fun. I usually try to put together a new theme for each of my like the holidays, so I can put it out on my porch or in my entryway, and it's a really cute way to decorate. Really quick, I'm gonna make sure I've got you up on my laptop so I can see any questions that come in. Let me pull that up real quick. There we go. Okay, well, if you have any questions as I go along, feel free to drop them in the comments, and I'll take a minute at the end to answer any questions that you have. So first of all, if you've never used a snap frame, there's 3 different kits that you can buy outside of a design kit. The first one is the frame itself. That's what we call the frame kit. It comes with 2 different pieces, a little foam piece that acts as a spacer for the other elements, and then your basic frame. It comes in kind of the blonde pine wood, and then you can stain it like I did, or you can paint it or cover it in paper, whatever you want to do with your own frame. This is actually the frame I use for all of them. I just went with a nice basic wood stain, and every season I just use this one, but I swap out my inside pieces. So you buy the frame, and then we have what we have these little different shaped mats that can go inside, and they create the first layer. You don't have to use them, but I think it's really cute. So there's different shapes that you'll find in the shop for this first layer, and it just snaps into that first little section. And then behind that, you would put your little spacing foam piece. So it'll look like this behind. And then you can get a snapback. And these create the back layer. Now there are different patterns as far as like the shape cut out for this one, but you can also get them in different textures. So like we have like a shiplap one that like has straight, or like the herringbone. But you would then take, sorry everything's backwards, I should have flipped it, but I didn't. I'll flip it for the next part. But you would then take your decorated snapback, and this snaps right inside your frame, like that. But it's really cute because it gives you like this shadow box effect. And so it kind of layers it really nicely. So that's how a snap frame goes together. Of course, you can take out like this piece here if you want like a full and you don't want the shape in it. But is that the size they all are? Sorry, I'm just seeing some comments jump up. So this is the size that we currently have. I haven't measured it for a while, so I'm not sure. Let's see if this one says it. So this snapback fits in the 10 by 12 inch frame. So I guess that's the size that this is. This is the only one that we have and currently, and it's a pretty good size. It looks really cute when you put it on a table with some other decorations around it, or sometimes I'll put them on my porch. But seeing the comments come through. So before I switch over to show you what I made for spring, I'm just gonna pop through these comments real fast. So yes, we talked about that. Yeah, Joni, I don't know, maybe it looks bigger because I'm getting it closer, but it's a pretty good size on that. Okay, well, I'm gonna take you over to show you what I made for spring for the snap frame. So let's switch around real quick. I'll give you kind of an overview. And feel free to keep the comments coming. I'll try to look up every so often as I'm going along here. Okay, so I gave you kind of a brief look at what comes in a snap frame kit. So that's your basic frame right here. Here's another of the shapes that we have as far as that first matte layer, and I'm hoping it'll like focus, but you can kind of see that there's lines, kind of like a shiplap look on this one. Now, of course, you could flip it over and just use the smooth side if you don't want a texture on it, but I like the texture. So I pulled this one out to use, and I just used this Magnolia white paint to paint mine, and I kind of left it rustic, so when I painted it, I just used a foam brush and I kind of smoothed it over, but as you can see, I kind of left a little bit of the wood color coming through so that it gave kind of a cute distressed look to it. So hopefully you guys can see that. So it's not perfectly white. Would have probably taken an extra coat to do that, but I did that on purpose. I like things to be kind of a little more farm style and rustic. Okay, so real quick, let's flip this over so it's ready to have our, oh, here I am putting in the wrong piece first. So this one goes in, just drops down in that first little space, and then your spacer goes in. Okay, so real quick before we put it together, I'll show you one of the designs I put together. So this is using our egg hunt set, and I went with just kind of a spring idea for this snap frame because it's the season for that. So I used the egg hunt set, which was really, really fun. This was my first chance to get to use it, so I had a lot of fun doing this one. So I'll show you here. So these are the pieces that I used from it, and then I used a little bit of this as well. I lucked out and I had this leftover pattern from, I want to say it was a February Love Notes kit, I think, from one of the Kiwi clubs, but it was absolutely perfect to act as a basket because it gave that weave look without me having to try and get fancy with it. So you'll see here that I tucked, you know, the little carrot and a couple of eggs back here with the little chick. I tied a little bit of jute twine on my carrot there. And then once I got that done, I felt like I needed to draw this pink color back in somewhere. So I actually pulled this, the little tracing set, and I used what we would normally use this as a bunny tail as a flower, and then I cut this out. It was pretty small and tricky, but I wanted it cut. You could trace it with a pen, which is what the intention was for that originally, but it worked as a tiny little accent flower on that one. Okay, sorry, I'm getting distracted by comments. I figured I maybe should look. So I accented this with just some little enamel dots, little gold enamel dots. I found these at Hobby Lobby. If you have a Hobby Lobby, they're great because they do big sales a lot. So I got this at 50% off, and I used that just to kind of add a few accents. And then I pulled the lettering from my stash. So I don't even remember which brand this used to be. It's back when you always bought all the chipboard lettering in the little sheets. And then this was an old piece as well that I used. And so pretty simple. I did ink everything, of course, with Vintage Photo because that's what I use on all my stuff. And then just a note, I don't think you have to do this. I did put it in and it stuck, but there's little metal corners on these to help stick to the magnets in the snap frame. So I went ahead and just used an X-Acto knife to cut it out really quick to make sure it stuck really well. Okay, and then I'll show you what it looks like in the frame, and then I'll look at the questions, and then I do have another one that I want to show you. So this is what the snap frame looks like. That's pretty dark. Let's switch it to more light. So that's what the snap frame looks like done and put together. Sorry, pretty shaky, but get a little bit better view. And I went with a kind of a spring thing on this one because I wanted it to go past just Easter time, you know, maybe go a little bit closer to summer. Okay, so real fast, I'm gonna check the comments on this one, and then I'm gonna show you another one that I put together. real fast. Hopefully I won't shake too much as I check through here. Okay. Yes, Joni, you'll have a lot of fun putting these together. They're kind of addictive once you get started. Okay. Exactly. Okay. Looks like we're good on comments. Now, I made one, and then I was like, man, I kind of still want to play with the bunny that was in the egg hunt kit. So what I actually did is I made an extra side on my flip side of this mat. So let me pull it out so you guys can see that. So I made this on the one side, and then I flipped the board over and I made another one. And this time I was playing around with a little more of a mixed media effect, just because when I went to look at Hobby Lobby, I found a couple of things that just looked like a lot of fun. So I went for felt because I wanted to make a felt bunny, and then I ended up buying extra stuff. But thankfully they were all 50% off, so it worked in my favor. So I went and I picked up just a piece of felt that I cut the bunny out of for this one. And I love how that turned out. It was really easy to do with a good sharp pair of scissors. And then I found some cute little puff balls to use as the towel on this one, just because I wanted the dimension of, I just wanted to see what it looked like to add all the dimension with the mixed media stuff. Then I found these couple of things I just thought would be fun to play with. I haven't bought paper flowers in a really long time because I usually just make my own. And you could totally still just make your own because we have plenty of flowers, but you know, I haven't done it for a while, so I thought I'd give it a try. And then I found these really fun little stems. I was thinking on a future layout though, I'm going to try using these and do a bunch of layered flowers with the Kiwi templates to create a really fun effect with that. Again, 50% off. So if you have a Hobby Lobby around and you want to copy this, that's how I made that. And I just layered them in. So this one's super dimensional, a little more on Easter, but let me flip this into the frame so you can see what it looks like put together. But it's kind of fun that you can use both sides so that you have quite a few more options. So that's what it looks like in the frame. So I use the same mat and the same frame and everything, but you can get a lot of different styles. Sorry, I'm trying to find you guys some good light, but I don't think it's working very well. Maybe we'll come up above it a little bit. So there's kind of a quick view of what that one looks like. I'll take pictures today so I can post them so you can see them a little bit better and not so shakily, as I'm sure my camera is not super steady. Okay, well, I'm gonna flip back around and we'll see if there's any questions that you guys have on the snap frames. And before I let you go, let's see. Try to get that stand to actually hold everything up. Okay, let's take a peek at comments real fast. Okay. Looks like we got a lot of you joining from all over the place. Yes, Nikki, the bunny one was really fun. Like I said, I haven't used, well, I haven't actually really bought anything like that in a lot of years. I pretty much always stick to my templates, and you could create the same look even with a lot of the template pieces, but when I saw them, I just, you know, sometimes you just want to play with some of the extra bits. But I love how it turned out, and the bunny is darling in the felt, so it's super fun. Sandy's asking about our April projects. Yeah, I just barely got mine done yesterday. I took my pictures and they're set, uploaded so they can start the PDF for April. Lots of fun there, of course. Hopefully you guys are having fun with your current March Kiwi kits if you have them yet. I know there was a bit of a delay this month, but that one was one of my favorite kits. I had so much fun with that one. So hopefully you guys are as well. Well, anyway, looks like I've answered all the comments there. So if you guys have any other questions, I mean, it's pretty simple. Snap frames are great because they're quick. You can use any template pretty much there, which is really nice with the snap frames. Like we do have design kits, and those templates and things in those are really, really fun. But the nice thing is that you can pull from your whole template stash to create your snap frames. And then even with my Hello Spring frame, I went in and just pulled from my scrap buckets for all those little bits and pieces, and I just kind of pieced it together. So it's a great way to use your scraps as well to create a frame for your house. But they're super fun. If you haven't had a chance to use them yet, then I would encourage you to do it. And please share what you're putting together. I'd love to see what you're doing as well. It might inspire my next frame. And just remember how versatile they are, that you can flip those mats and those snapbacks around, and you can use them multiple times, so you can change up your look really easy. Yeah, I think I forgot to mention too that just like the mats have different textures on them sometimes, the same thing goes. I covered mine with paper, as you saw. That was actually the first time that I did that. I've always painted them before, but they have different textures for the back pieces as well, the snapbacks. So, or you can use the plain side on the flip side or cover it with paper. So they're really versatile. You can do a ton of stuff with them, and they just make a really cute addition to the house. Also be a really fun gift to give someone if you're looking for that. And Sandy's asking, will we be getting new snap frame kits? Would love an oval window. Sandy, I will bring that up next time we are working on snap frames, and we'll see what we can do in the future. Hopefully you guys have a lot of fun with them. Happy creating, and I'll talk to you another time. Bye.